Hello, my name is Warren Rutherford. I'm the owner of the Executive Suite, and I'm a franchise coach with Matchpoint Network. Today's session is Attention. Will franchising help you become more relevant in your next career? I'm recording this session. After the session ends, I'll stop recording, and we can talk about any questions you might have. Feel free also to type your questions in the box on the lower right. I'll be conducting 2 polls as we go through the presentation today. So the first question we have is, where do you want to go? Chances are that your career has been very successful. So why are you, at this point in your career, considering a change? And looking back on your career, what would you consider your most fulfilling job and why? Now, as you're thinking about that, also think about what your least enjoyable job has been and the reasons for that. There could be several jobs that you might consider the most fulfilling and at least 1 or 2 that are the least enjoyable, particularly if it's your current job and you're still currently employed. Now, next, let me ask you a couple more questions. Are there any skills or tasks you prefer not to have to do if you owned a business? For example, if I had to do X, I would not be happy. What would X be? Take a minute and write that down. And how do you see yourself using your strengths in a business? What I'm going to do now is launch a poll. And once we launch the poll, I'll give you the opportunity to review the options on the screen and check off those that apply to you. So take a couple of minutes, check off all that apply, and then we'll come back. Okay, very good. Now, what's your story? Why are you exploring the option of owning your own business? Perhaps my own story can help. I decided years ago that I wanted to be my own boss because I wanted to help people achieve their highest level of performance. That's my motivator. That's why I do what I do as a franchise coach and as an executive coach. I would imagine that one or several of the points on this slide might sound familiar. You see, I believe everyone has an important story, and it's important for you to acknowledge what your story is, because within that story, we can help to understand your primary motivator, your primary driver, because understanding this will help you become more comfortable with this major life decision. So let's have another poll here. What I'd like to ask you is, what are you seeking in a business? And again, as with the previous poll, review the options on the screen and check off those that apply to you. I would expect there's going to be more than one here. Give it a couple more seconds and then I'll close the poll. Okay, excellent. So, what motivates you? This list seems to get at a number of motivators, but let me ask you, what gets you up in the morning? What gets you excited for the day? As you begin to better understand your values and your motivators, you'll also be able to start identifying the types of roles you enjoy the best. It could be leadership, sales, operations, and/or customer service. So write down what motivates you if it's not on this list, and we can discuss it at the conclusion of this session. Now, if you're looking at purchasing a business, there are several financial options you might have, depending on your unique situation. For instance, you may want to tap into the equity in your home through a HELOC. Some people do and some people don't. You also may have the ability to use your retirement fund to finance part or all of your purchase. There's ways that it's legal, tax, and penalty-free. and I work with several financial advisors who can explain how it's done. Or you may be able to find a franchisor who will help finance the acquisition. Next, you're going to need to identify all your expenses. Normally in a franchise, you'll have an upfront fee called a franchise fee that's paid to the franchisor to recruit and to train you. Thereafter, every franchise will have a requirement for working capital. It includes the franchise fee, but also includes other items you need to invest in to get the business up and running. For instance, technology, perhaps an office, inventory, employees, marketing expenses. It all depends on the model you're looking at. How much you can afford to invest will help you to identify the type of franchise models that are right for you. And of course, you're going to want to know how much money you want to make. As with any business, the first few years are going to be hardest. Normally, there's little income in the first year, but it grows in the second and third years. So try to think out over a 5 to 10 year time frame. So if you want to become relevant in your next career, consider a few of the points listed here. When I refer to redefining, I'm asking you to assess as objectively as you can what's achievable for you at this stage in your career. Try not to use limiting thoughts and phrases, and be realistic about what you believe you can achieve. Sometimes reinventing is misused or misinterpreted. Well, what I intend here is to encourage you to entertain new partnerships, new discussions, and maybe they're worth considering. Think about how you might be able to rebuild your career based on your past successes, current talents, and future partnerships and opportunities. You do get what you accept, and you can shape your own future and take control. Finally, you can ask for further information. I've pasted on the bottom right the link to the Take a Free Franchise Assessment. It's going to bring you to this homepage, I hope. Or maybe it won't. It'll bring you to a link, here we go, that will allow you to take your free franchise assessment. And once that's complete, I'll be notified, and we can chat a little bit further about how franchising may be appropriate for you. Thank you for participating in this webinar. I hope it was helpful to you, and I'll now stop the recording and take any questions from the audience. Thank you very much.